okayfm 101.7.
Emmanuel Wilson, area convener the man Crusaders against corruption Ghana. Now, one more day, and some phobia a pia bontain. And come on, Ekoswa, Ajin home Petakunamina, Ewa Montensu Fitananu Quada 2022 budget no, eto from no. The manual tumbi. Mobile money tax or digital levy. Omeyi. Komo. Na enkomo de ba no pay very interesting ti. Yankonya ni Emmanuel Embo komo. Emmanuel Wilson convener Crusaders against corruption Ghana. okayfm sini. Machien.
Yenya me ba sho Chief Crusader. Me convener ba me Chief Crusader.
Chief
for Crusaders against corruption Ghana.
Okay. Oh, nyame adom na wonso e.
Nyame adom ne mo kaibo. Me ho ye ba.
All right. To develop Ghana,
yes,
we need fiscal discipline and genuine protection of the public purse.
Yes.
According to the Auditor General, Ghana could not account for 12 billion Ghana cedis of taxpayers' money in the year 2020. If we cannot account for how the taxes from citizens are being used, then clearly it is not the mobile money or the mobile money tax or digital levy that can make a difference. Can this statement be attributed to Crusaders against corruption Ghana?
This is a statement that was written by Crusaders against corruption. In fact, Yebeka Wapotoka the way you Caesar, Nyamia Duma EVA, Crusaders against corruption Ghana, you released a press statement on the budget as read by the finance minister last week. No, into this commentary, there's just a teaser and a portion of it. But we can still have a conversation on it. Crusaders against corruption Ghana is very, very, very simple. So if I say a fight to corruption in this country, it is now you're committed to it. And yes, I'm not created that environment of elimination by substitution now. Ghana will just be where we are. And yeah, they are able to me akoyini. Now, now for the past years, it looks like you're fighting corruption, but in reality, the fight against corruption as a nation, you intimi and compensate you need able to me as you want. And then, yes, we are introducing a levy, which is called e-levy. Indeed, this mobile money tax anchor for a company, it is just a portion of the e-levy. E-levy, goes beyond mobile money tax. E-levy says, so far. Actually, even transaction from one bank account to the other, transferring money from one bank account to the other. Just an enemy Juma, and I'm my employing for. And if I am paying them at the end of the month, now me transfer the company bank account to their individual bank account. It comes at additional cost. What it means is that share this online taxes are to online activities in Asia. What it means is that we are moving and we are encouraging for Ghana for say we move away from cashless system over the past period. We seem to be making an inroad to a cash economy. And then me person me workers me kwa use the bank. Na ma sa line e wo me office na me tua omoka. Anytime we have cash economy, it is a breeding ground for corruption. And that is what this e-levy seeks to be achieving. We want to move away from the e-levy policy which has been proposed. We are going to be forced as a nation to move away from cashless economy to an economy where we will be moving with cash. And it's a breeding ground for corruption. And the policy alone, and our policy in Ankakano, the implementation of it now, it creates a lot of corrupt environment. It doesn't augur well for us as we want to fight corruption in this country. Now, coming to the statement, we make you reference to it now. Why is it that you say as of mine, you tax the Ghanaian, but we are not quick? Ahonkeka ye de tax Ghanaians no. Yenya sa ahonkeka na emfa manage sika ye je Ghanaians no. Look at the Auditor General's report, and not just last year. It is like a very norm. Every year, the Auditor General's report about JBN. There are some monies which are not accountable for. We are not able to account for that money. The BIA sika wa hon ma eba we give it to the various institutions, agencies near the embrace almost it becomes difficult. And yet, years to say we are not able to raise money. If we cannot manage it very well, there's no need for us to overburden the already burdened Ghanaians who are paying taxes. Calculation are a better actually approximately this levy will give Ghanaians at the end of every year about 7 billion Ghana cedis. It is about 6 billion, 6.9 billion something. It's approximately 7 billion. Now every year, tax Ghanaians. Already Ghanaians are overburdened with taxes, unnecessary taxes. And yes, unnecessary input, but the fact that taxes and it is like we are mismanaging the whole fund. 7 billion. Now, about the soldier from Auditor General's report, there is 12 billion Ghana cedi which was unaccounted for. So to me, I account for that money. We can't with every year now. Ghana, we wouldn't need to overburden ourselves with additional taxes. In the Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana, the year can say, yes, very good. Say they raise Sika. But that is not the most important thing. As for mine, the here say, how well are we managing Sasikana year raising? A lot of money goes into waste, it goes into people's pockets. And yet we turn around and we are overburdening the majority Ghanaians who are paying their taxes and they are not seeing what the taxes are being used for. And now we know still under expenditure. And now we know executive emolument. And as those from the Omomwa Bemu, emolument has been increased by 70%. Public sector emolument has been increased by 4%. If 4%, if public sector can live with 4%, why can't executive live with 4%? And the bottom line is not that we are against raising of funds and are raising of money through taxes.
But use
the bottom line it's not fair. We are against anything in terms of development. But the issue is that you cannot come and overburden people to pay taxes when you yourself you are not able to manage the little money or resources that we have. Ghana, you to me manage you sika your work, you to me manage borrowing are you making, you to me manage the existing taxes for sika union idea. It is all about management. It's not about adding more taxes. It's about how prudent and disciplined we are in managing resources. The second one, which is the last one, is the fact that e-levy will move us as a nation from a cashless economy to a cash economy. Now, every time you have a cash economy, it is a recipe for corruption to breed. I expect, and our Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana, we expect, for one, Parliament will do what all of us as Ghanaians expect them to do. That they will think beyond partisan interests, whether you are in the majority or you are in the minority, move away from partisan interests and move to a national interest. And let us ensure that the budget as it is in its current state, it is not passed until some reviews are done. And yes, sir, especially with the e-levy, we are not going to build a good future for this country. And that is why Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana, we are strongly against this.
Fantastic. And it's a core memory lane, Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana. Initiatives and I say, and some be a abeba efa corruption one modern watum be a mutum one amono. Aya muyana mukani say, namukani say ya. I am penny for a mammo a listening ear.
In fact, so far the success story of Crusaders Against Corruption, we can quickly talk about two major things. PDS a betuja. A Crusaders na a public domain in first. Yena I did that too. Yes, go through the archive.
All right.
We yani the first group anti-Crusaders organization CSO I did that too. Ana others a journey. I'm saying in our journey consistently we did everything we could do. Petition the relevant institutions, including Special Prosecutor's Office, including the American Embassy. We petitioned all the institutions that we could do. We did all the fight we could do. Nyamin Chadie, we saw the end result of it. we were able to save Ghanaians from this terrible agreement. There thought to be the success story of Crusaders against corruption. A referendum ebetuja. Say, I think some years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, a banker say they wanted us to have a referendum as to whether assembly elections should be done on a partisan line or shouldn't be done on a partisan line. Crusaders against corruption, yes, sorry, Eka say, that referendum, it is just a waste of the taxpayers' money. And the reason was that if you go to the Constitutional Review Commission's report, which was presented to Aban on Tuesday, the 20th of December 2011, the decision of Ghanaians, majority of Ghanaians, was captured in this report. And decisions of Ghanaians said that, yes, we want to ensure, say, elections of MMDCs, DCs, assemblymen, women, we should elect them. But it shouldn't be on a partisan line. In the Crusaders can say, the Abanka of a referendum, Aban is just wasting the taxpayers' money. It's more like reinventing the wheel. You are just telling Ghanaians to go and make a decision on something that they have already decided on, which has been captured very well in the Constitutional Review Commission's report. And also, at the end of the day, Aban saw the wisdom in it and decided to put a stop to it. And these are some of the success stories yet to me, it's saving the future of this country from. But yes, there are lots that can be done. Unfortunately, the Ebani says Crusaders against corruption is taking issues up. Now, to me, majority of Ghanaians supporting us. Now, quickly, some Ghanaians decide to reduce the issue to partisanship. What they end up doing is that they make us lose the focus, and then the government of the day is encouraged to say, oh, Pina is opposition through partisan affiliation, and let's go ahead with it. Forget to say, any decision that is taken, it is not the political party that suffers, but it is the future of the country that suffers. The young sofa ena, ochina yemba and a sofa. And yes, and what is also worrying is that, especially with the Special Prosecutor's Office, there has been so many issues. Your research department, Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana, your research department, your investigation, we quietly get to the appropriate institutions. We have sent a petition, about 3 different petitions to Shraj for over 3 years. Even letter to rep acknowledge say Yensa Kamu petition. Basically, there hasn't been anything of that sort. You are sending about 2 different petitions. One under in fact, the 2 now was under Martin Amidu. The best thing they did, or the only thing they could do, was to write an official letter to Crusaders acknowledging receipt. Oh, Yensa Kamu Weno, you better work on it. Basically, nothing has happened. In the Crusaders Against Corruption, yes, we have this frustration of Nemeni Piwa. We want to ensure, at the end of the day, it is not popularity we are looking for, but we want to ensure that the right things are done. We do it quietly. Investigation here in some few documents which suggest that there's corrupt practices taking place at certain places. We then refer our evidence to the appropriate institution. Hoping said, because they are backed by law and they are being fueled by taxpayers' money. They some energy to fight it. But unfortunately, none of them seems to be committed to it. And that is why, again, we are saying, they pursue a fighting corruption power in this country. Yes, starting as of my MBC, it is not just the money we receive, but the expenditure side. You find out what.
I want a day at the end of say. So, how do we get them to account for? Because until they be exercise in futility, you can say, na asanso akwabani be ready budget for na bibia asanso apiem na it will be an appendage for corruption. Ni akasa say they say the roadmap no anka say how to get accountability.
That is the key word. Key word near accountability. And then I di kan say, and now me no kati. Parliament is supposed to check the institution that is supposed to serve as a check on the executive. Unfortunately, Parliament, over the past years, the norm or the tradition has been said, majority will always be on the side of the government of the day. Majority wants to catch the eye of the president or the executive of the day. hoping that there will be a reshuffle into when I am an art kisser, forgive my word, me an art kisser of the executive, not you can't say, yes, I'm reshuffle there. At least I will be giving some position. I am a deputy, I am a minister. They reduce the reason why they are in parliament to partisan and personal selfish interest. Every day, Auditor General's report. Don't we have parliamentarians constituting what we call public accounts committee? Are probe into those things? Question is, what do they do with it? Are you getting the thing?
Sure.
We have an institution that is supposed to ensure that the right things are being done. What do they do? Since public accounts committee, they be almost you see almost per diem, and you see almost taking allowance, you more drink, you more snacks. It is coming from the taxpayers' money. What results do we get out of it which benefits the nation? These are what we should be talking about. I just moved out of a radio station. Question the same question.
All right.
We have a ministry called Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs.
Sure.
Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. In 30 seconds and now 1 minute. So basically, education and what they do.
Then the minister
only the number of workers they have in that ministry. Do you know the programs they do which benefit us as a mind? Take 2021 financial year budget, last year, for this year. Allocation that was given to them from the taxpayers' coffin. 15 million Ghana cedis. 15 million Ghana cedis plus. I'm approximating because quite big weight, but to make it a round figure, 15 million Ghana cedis. What did they do with it? Has there been any accountability? What has that ministry, as a minor, what have we benefited from that ministry? And it is not just that ministry. There are so many institutions. And do you know the number of presidential staffers we have? Yembisa Yahu as a mindset. Presidential staffers, they fall under Article 71. The benefits now they get some. Question is, presidential staffers, over 1,000 presidential staffers we've been having in this country over the past years. What do they do to adapt to the economy? And yet, they come back and tell us we should tighten our belt. They are adding up taxes. They need more money. They need money to do what? Over the past years, what have they done with it? Let's start talking about accountability. That is the only way we can start fighting corruption. And if we want to talk about accountability, the best institution for us to put pressure on them is Parliament. For once, parliamentarians should go beyond partisan interest and ensure that the current budget will not be passed in its current state. So some few amendments are made, especially the e-levy thing is taken out completely because it becomes a haven for corruption to breed in this country. For the sake of our next generation, for the sake of our children, parliamentary for the sake of our children, they should go beyond partisan interest. That is what Crusaders Against Corruption are calling on this morning.
Kwema enewie movie ya beba na ensem we beto dwa no so ye no abebo ho nkomo.
Me patrol me that panya me adomatre so by 12 anyway ye ne amante nyina be din nkomo. Na your position and detailed position on the budget no. Ye the best ya. Ye wie so a me sure nim say ye be sign idin nkomo bi mo.
In 30 seconds expectation in say.
Expectation in the Yebabe Navy.
Fantastic.
Oh, so the Yebabe Navy, all we are saying is Ghana, Ajin, Ako, the unnecessary spending that goes on in this country. And then let's just suppose it to whether or not those expenses are justifiable for us to pay extra taxes to the same people who misuse our taxes.
You may better do pay. I was a chief Crusader at the Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana, Emmanuel Wilson, and a Chechen Komono.
okayfm 101.7.